pro bikes of Asheville, we had a lot of great riders and many riders who were loyal to the shop, to the team, Land of Sky Racing. So many. We did most of the races around. We were from early in the year until the season ran out. But the more difficult rides were the Assault on Mount Mitchell, Six Gap in Georgia, Bridge to Bridge on Grandfather Mountain there. Another ride that didn't get a lot of attendance because it was at least 9 hours plus away. Sometimes we'd be in for a drive for about half a day. So across Florida, we would start in Cocoa Beach. We'd have to drive down there, spend the night, and the next day generally we'd do that 160 to 70 miles across Florida to Pine Island, the Pine Island that is just north of St. Pete. And of course, we would have to drive back, and sometimes we would have to take a bus back to Cocoa Beach and spend the night there. And so it took up a few days, so it didn't attract maybe hordes of people, but it would attract a dozen to or so. The Cross Florida Roll is what this poem is all about, and it is in the book Nam to Now. But I reminisce about those days, and it seems like a beautiful thing, but in the middle of it, Florida's hot. It has those love bugs that come out in the spring, and the Cross Florida ride was held the first Sunday in May. Now it's moved back. Mitchell, the Assault on Mitchell, was held the first Sunday in June, but they moved it back to where you can't have the Assault on Mitchell on a weekend. And they've moved it back to May as well. So things are different. Cross Florida Roll. It was always hot and fast. This ride that was, we drove a dozen hours for it, just because. For hundreds of Floridians, the ride was very serious. The hot sun and tarmac made us all delirious. It was 25 miles an hour for 100 miles or so. Then the shark would jump in somewhere around Orlando. I'd be holding on, gritting my teeth and barely alive, but the shark and a few of his friends would kick it up to 35. Riders were dropping as the best riders scrambled. So many were laid to waste, and the pack was in shambles. Did my water boil? Why didn't my tires melt? Could anybody feel worse than the awfulness I felt? Then another war would begin, the long war of attrition. I was weighed, measured, and tested, and now out of ammunition. It's a tattered army of stragglers, struggling for some shelter. as all was lost at quite a cost, and their world was helter skelter. 170 miles would not arrive too soon. The next challenge the Cubans called the craters of the moon. The devastation is vast. Any favorable outcome seems bleak. The pain is remembered for days. The endorphins may last a week. The misery and these memories are too very easy to keep. And the following night's slumber will be the deepest sleep. The pain will ease in time, with or without anesthesia. The battered and fried keep returning as though they have amnesia. And that's what it was like. Yeah.